Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Tom O'Halloran and today we're going to talk about feet on hangboarding. So there's a few different reasons why you might want to throw feet on hangboarding into your routine, and I think it is one that is super awesome for beginners right through to the advanced climbers, so make sure you listen. Reason number one why you might want to keep your feet on while you're hangboarding is basically if you can't hold on, it's a really good way to just build up a bit of strength without needing to deal with doing pulleys or rubber bands or any of that sort of stuff. So it's a super great minimal equipment setup. And I've used it for when I'm trying to hang on with my pinkies and build up a little bit of pinky strength and that sort of thing. I'm not suggesting that people overstep their strength and abilities here. You need to really make sure that you're staying safe and in control with all of this sort of stuff. But it is a super good way to just get used to hanging on to the thing, and just basically what you're doing is hanging in that same, putting your body in that same position and just pulling down as hard as you can and doing your same fingerboarding protocol, whether that's like a 7 and 3 or some sort of like 5 seconds on max hang type thing. Basically just trying to take as much weight out of your feet as possible, and you're doing it in a nice, safe, controlled way. The second reason why you might want to consider some feet on hangboarding is working on the actual technique of hanging onto the fingerboard. So there's a lot of technique into actually hanging on properly, making sure that your shoulders are engaged in the right way and that they're in the right position, your elbows and all that sort of stuff, and hanging on with your fingers and everything's all nice and in line. You want to make sure you've got the correct technique so you're not getting injured. And to be able to learn these techniques without the stresses of the extra weight hanging through your body is super awesome. You can actually feel where your body wants to be or where it needs to be, and you can learn that technique so that when it comes time to applying more weight and resistance to your hangs, you know what you're doing and you're not increasing that risk of hurting yourself, because we never ever want to get hurt while training, and especially fingerboarding, because it's very easy to do if you do the wrong thing. So build up slowly and do it in the right way. Which brings me to point number 3, and that is basically you can use it to build up a new tolerance to a new hang. And I've done this in the past where I've got reasonably strong hands, but most of the gripping that I do is with 4 fingers on an edge or crimping up or big fat slopers or pinches. I was training up to go to Sayus a few years ago and wanted to get my pockets bang on really good. And basically I came into it with already strong hands. So I was kind of having these false gains, and after a few weeks of doing it, bang, there goes my lumbrical, because basically my hand wasn't used to being in this position. The lumbrical muscle is this muscle in here in your hand, and basically it is connected with your pinky and your ring finger here, and when you're pulling on a pocket, boom, it's extending this way and contracting this way, and the muscle fiber just poof does that, and it sucks. I wasn't smart enough to slowly build up to hanging on pockets in this way, and it's definitely a really good thing. So basically you can just hang on and in a really safe, controlled way, just get really used to it, get your body ready to go, so when it comes time to actually rip out the awesomeness, you're fully ready to go. Another time that I've used feet on hangboarding is when I've been away in mining camps for work and I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I have nothing other than my crag board. Basically I'll be out there and want to do a bit of fingerboarding, and so rather than taking a whole bunch of weights around with me or trying to fill up water bottles or anything like that to add more weight, I'll just do one arm hangs. And because I can't hang on just with one arm on those edges, just basically feather a bit of weight off my feet, and I've seen a really good amount of gain from just doing that. And it's also a really nice way to, rather than sticking to like, oh, it's got to be 5 kilos off this time and then it's going to be 4.5 and 4 and anything like that, you're actually going with what your body feels up for on that day, and you're just giving a 90% effort each session, and sometimes that's going to be taking off like 95% of your body weight, and sometimes that's going to be taking off 83% of your body weight, but because you got your feet on, you're just doing as much as you can. you're staying nice and safe, and you're not kind of like pushing it further than it needs to be pushed. So it's also a really good way of staying safe through your hanging. So as I said at the beginning, I definitely recommend this for pretty much everyone. I think it's super helpful, and a good way to stay safe and learn new things and move on with your climbing. So I hope that was in some way informative for you all. Hope you're all staying safe and getting psyched to head out and do a bit of rock climbing and of course a bit of training.